guys, this is Aromie here, and welcome back to our life Baxter DLC. It's been months, I think. I haven't posted, I thought this was January. This is February as I am recording. I haven't posted in a while. Your girlie has been stuck with her big girl job, still adjusting to it. But here we are. Hopefully here to finish the Baxter DLC. I'm so sorry for the delay. I do not remember what we left off on. So I think we're talking about his parents. I'm gonna silently fume because I do not recall what we were talking about, my love. So there, Michiko. Who knows, maybe one day I'll cobble together families of sorts of my own. I've stopped running away whenever I got close to another person. That's the first step. Alright, he wants a family. I hope it's gonna be like a fur baby family. I'm not ready for children. You place your hand over his head, you put a hand on his shoulder, you wrapped an arm around him. I'm here for you. I'm gonna put my hand over his, Right when you brushed against his skin, he flipped his palm up in order to hold onto you in return. You gripped him like he would fall off a cliff if you ever let go. Every fiber of your being was working towards a single goal, conveying to Baxter that you were there, and you would be as I haven't recorded forever. My tongue is not working, and you would be as long as he wanted you to be. Baxter whispered gently, and you knew the sentiment got through.
That's sweet.
You're very kind. I have always been kind, Baxter, always. Though, rest assured, I'm not as heartbroken over my lack of familial bonds as you would be if you became estranged with yours. That is true. My girlie is very close to her family, and clearly he is not. I always feel like that's a duo anyway, IRL. It's usually a duo like that. There wasn't much to lose. While I could wish it was different, it never has been. I'd only be theorizing about pointless what-ifs. And with the circumstances I have, not interacting with my parents remains preferable over the stress that came with having them around.
Honestly.
I'm happier with the way my life is right now than I have been at any other time. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I understand myself better. I have friends. I have you again. You always had me. You just didn't want me. I'm not gonna forget that. So I would hope you can be glad of how far I've come rather than sad that there were hurdles to overcome. At the end of the day, it's where we end at, right? You came through, right? You're staying, right? Managing a smile, you gave him an answer from the heart. Okay, I am happy that you're happy. Thank you. For a moment, you connected with one another, genuinely, sincerely, and wholly? That was until his ever-familiar Cheshire cat grin took center stage.
So.
And at the very least, I can be grateful that I don't have the thick-headed parents the bartender and diva were saddled with. Despite yourself, you laughed. That was a completely unexpected reference. Homie has been referencing, I do recall him referencing a lot of our, summer escapades, so he clearly remembers. Baxter used the opening to continue reminiscing about what happened the day he invited you out for drinks so long ago. It was intentional. He didn't want to linger on the heavy topic of his family, but it wasn't forced. Baxter didn't have to pretend he was doing well. It was true. He could carry on with his head held high, and you get to be there from then on. It was something to be glad about. Soon the time to move forward did arrive. There were other adventures to be had. Imagine that was all I had left to record, and you guys were just waiting for that for like months. That I would feel so bad. You and Baxter hopped in his car once again, and the bar disappeared behind you. Neither of you had eaten since that morning. Your grumbling stomachs decided that you'd eat at one of the nearby restaurants rather than going to the apartment to cook. When you were done with yet another stop and back in the car, it was well into the night. You'd been away from home for at least 12 hours. One might have thought about frantically finishing a wedding. The day after that would be comparably less jam-packed. Nope. It had been your 5th or 6th subsequent day of squeezing every last minute of the day for all it was worth. I was like, what are you talking about? But then I remember, yeah, there was a wedding we did. You couldn't keep track anymore of how long you've been tossed about by this whirlwind of activity. Your charming company in the flurry didn't bat an eye at the pace. In fact, it hadn't budged a hair out of place on his perfectly styled head. The darkness of the world and the lateness of the hour meant Mr. Ward had reached his height of energy. Not me, I would be knocked out. It was under those circumstances when Baxter offered up a new proposition.
Does that sound alright?
Ichigo, what would you say about going dancing with me? At this hour? I'm kidding. He elaborated. I spent the whole of the wedding working, if you recall. Even though we stole a little time after the event had finished, that was hardly comparable to having a night out together. Especially when you consider the circumstances that lingered between us then. And we can't forget that you'll be leaving soon, and I'll have to start a new client work shortly. So why not take advantage of the moment we have together now? Of the moment, not in the moment. Here you have been thinking you'd already made the most of the day. Apparently, Baxter considered your gallivanting around 2 towns to be just a lead up to a yet-to-come grand finale. Could we do that without having to make a reservation or sign up for dance lessons? And wait, would something even be open this late? Dance in his apartment, I don't know. But gaping hole in the master plan couldn't fluster Baxter as expected. I know a place. Oh, do you? Is it that place where we could have ran into him? The soiree place? Now, it wouldn't be as attractive of a location as the Adams Affair. However, it's entirely functional for our purposes. To add to the fact, we could visit the apartment and change it to something more appropriate. So, I mean, we could also dance in the apartment, but don't you think it's a shame I haven't gotten a single chance to wear a true suit yet? The standard everyday look doesn't have the same impact. The car stopped at a red light and Baxter made the most of that opportunity as well, turning his head to face you directly. His expression was hopeful. It could be our first real date. What do you mean? At least the first for our second time being together. Oh, okay, I was supposed to say what? That'd be nice. About time. I could try. Alright, I'll leave for you, Baxter. Let's not immediately.
Thank you.
You're welcome. He chirped sweetly, but when his eyes went back to the road, he was smirking deviously. Baxter channeled his growing energy into a taut grip on the wheel. Finally, I have a partner I can dance with whenever we wish to. Aww, only temporarily because I gotta move. I gotta fly back to wherever the girl, I don't know where she's working at. I'm gonna, assume on the East Coast. The light turned green and he hit the gas. Your back pressed into the seat from the rapid change in momentum. There would be no rest for the wicked. It all made you snicker. His enthusiasm never failed to delight. You arrived at the apartment building, went straight up to Baxter's floor, and through the front door of his place. Without needing to reiterate the latest scheme, you and Baxter split off into your respective rooms to get fancy. You dressed a bit nicer than your norm, dressed formally, dressed glamorously. Glamorously. I will always take a chance to glam up. The chance to wear this special outfit didn't happen often, but you always packed it in case something unexpected materialized. And you're eager to find or create a fitting reason when the situation allowed for it. The wedding would have been inappropriate since it was Jude's and Scott's time to shine, but thanks to your preparation, you were ready to dazzle. Digging hastily, you found what you needed in your suitcase and shook out any wrinkles that might have been hiding there. It was ready to go. When you were dressed, you found Baxter already waiting in the living room. He lifted his head and a thin smile pulled across his face. Of course, he would know how to put on a suit in a flash. Oh, looking like chocolate! I was fully expecting black and white. Wow. You look very charming, Baxter. Baxter was dolled up in a sleek and stylish brown suit that highlighted his eyes rather than trying to distract from them, and tonight they looked clearer than ever. Stunned speechless for a minute, Baxter admired its sight with a grin, then came the praise.
Bravo!
Ichigo, I must admit that I'm equally impressed and surprised. I had no idea that you even had an outfit of that caliber on hand. It all made the intense preparation worth the trouble. It wasn't often that you could catch Baxter off guard. Truly, you look exquisite. I think he's in love with us, guys. You see that expression he has? Homie's in love. You're also dressed excellently. I didn't expect a brown suit for you. But not in a bad way. Your suit's cool. You beamed at him. Looking him up and down, you applauded. He knocked it out of the park. Oh, I have such a handsome boyfriend. Baxter proudly smoothed the front of his jacket and then took a sweeping bow. One of my proudest accomplishments, if I say so myself. He idly adjusted the cuffs of his suit jacket. Your eyes followed that movement. I've been told the set is an attention grabber. But by who? Automatically, you glanced up and caught the gentle curve of his smile. Shall we go? Yeah. wherever we are going. On that note, the two of you left the apartment behind and gallivanted off into the city. We're going to the city. It was exhilarating to run off with little warning to who knew where with whatever Baxter Ward by your side. You felt all of 18 years old again. You had no idea until just now how deeply you missed it. The engine cut off and Baxter's latest mystery location was unidentifiable. Closing the car door, all you could see was a small empty lot and a few street lamps keeping it lit. Is this where we had the party? Or is this just, we're reusing a generic parking lot to then lead to the spot? This lot sat behind a huge building, but from this spot you had no way of knowing what the inside could be. The back was entirely non-distinct, just an imposing white wall. Are you sure this is the right way? Yes, there's a door ahead. Baxter, okay, he's killing us. I'm kidding. Baxter led you away from the car and towards a back door you had missed entirely in the shadows. He opened it with little effort and slipped inside. Perplexed, he stood there and stared into the dark void Baxter disappeared into. Right this way. You could kind of see his arm in the doorway and Baxter motioned for you to follow. He had anticipated being surprised by where he was taking you, but this was way more unusual than even his usual fare. Following inside, you struggled to see anything without the tiny rays of light filtering through the doorway. Baxter still found your hand and began leading you forward. No explanations were offered. Instead, Baxter acted under the assumption that you'd blindly come with him. Well, you're right, because I will. And he was right. Baxter went ahead with confident steps. You trusted him enough to believe this wasn't a mistake. Wherever the two of you were, he at least knew the pitch-black hallway. He found precisely where to reach to open another door. In the new black void, you caught a faint echo of your own footsteps stopping by his side. Next to you, the door felt like glass under your fingertips. Baxter lightly squeezed you, and then he let go. "Wait here, please. I'll get the lights." There was nothing else to do. Listening closely, you could hear Baxter's steps bounce around the presumed open space as he strolled ahead. He moved further and further away until you heard the loud click of multiple switches being flipped. Several rows of lights zapped on in succession. No, I don't. Where is this? Flashbang. The lights flashed to their full brightness and blinded you. Shielding your face, you were aware of Baxter moving in your direction.
I'm sorry.
I should have warned you. You're right. Squinting your blurry sight gradually adjusted. You finally got an idea of where you were. A big, nearly empty room with a shiny tiled floor. Okay, I don't know where this place is. I guess it's not a reference to anything. I suddenly thought he was going to reference something else. Like another past memory. It was strange. Something was familiar about the picture. Almost like you'd seen this room before. I have? That was it. You had seen it before. I have? Especially in the photos Scott and Jude sent before their wedding. This must have been where they... Oh, okay. This must have been where they practiced with Baxter. Is this your work building? Damn, you own this whole building? Or this section of the building? Correct. Baxter revealed the ring of keys hooked around his finger and spun it, his expression impish. If we're being technical, we're long closed for the day. However, I happen to have keys. That's perfect. Are we going to be arrested for breaking and entering, you joked? Are you kidding me? You can't do that. I'm going to joke. No, not at all. I'm allowed to visit it at any time, even when customers are not.
Of course.
What if I need to access a file in the office? You have an office in here? Weddings, as you know, are a juggling act of many moving pieces. The difficulty would only increase if the work fell exclusively within a window of set hours. Yeah. A single wedding was chaotic enough, but planning them as a career could easily be more than a full-time job. He'd have to ready to tackle needs and demands whenever they hit. Exactly. The higher powers that be understand. The higher powers that be understand we do what we must. Okay, that sentence didn't make sense to me. I hope it made sense to y'all. I can come and go from the building as I please.
Honestly.
Though bringing a date here is not entirely an unexpected reason for coming. Personally, I say this counts as a job adjacent. You're helping me maintain my professional dancing form. The owners are highly understanding.
See?
And excuses are only necessary if we're caught, which might not even happen. Mischief twinkled in his eyes. He seemed so certain in his abilities that you had to believe Baxter would never be taken to task for the stunt. There was no way you could have predicted this situation if you tried. Baxter Ward was an enigma. Well, you surprised me.
Excellent.
One moment, please. More surprises. Holding up a single digit, Baxter politely dipped his head and then went to the counter by the far wall. He was messing with something there, but you couldn't tell what while you walked to the center of the room. Soon you and him could share the floor for your own dancing. You didn't want to dance yourself. Baxter could demonstrate the steps. Soon you'd have a dance together. Aren't these two kind of similar? No, this is... No, whatever. I'll just choose this one. Already lost in thought and imagining a song, you tapped your foot and then spun on your toes. A few snickers bubbled up from the silliness. You gotten better than ever before? Girl, I don't think we have practice at all. You'd be able to manage more so than before. You were as ungraceful as ever. Me. Most likely me. Where are we? Are we just covering up pages now? I believe so. When the fuck did I last save? November 10th. Great. Almost 2 months and a day later. February 11th. Wait, did I do that wrong? December, January. Oh, wrong math. Almost 3 months later. Jesus. Oops. Anyway, this is where we're gonna stop for today's episode. I'm gonna do We're as Ungraceful as Ever. Well, no, I danced at that wedding, didn't I? Okay, we're gonna do. We'll manage. We'll give our girly a little, a little boost, because Aromie, no. Dancing is a no. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. So sorry for the delay. We are back. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.